Hey there! What's the number one thing most small business owners and solopreneurs miss entirely before they develop a new website or update it? Create lead magnets and the email nurture funnels that would go along with that? Offer products or services? Develop online courses? Make videos? Write blog posts? Launch an online business, or even launch a podcast. I've been in the SEO-driven WordPress website design and digital marketing world since 2009. And for those of you who are not familiar with SEO, that's search engine optimization or search engine marketing. I see the same thing repeatedly from all of my small business owners and clients. And today we're going to discuss the number one thing most people neglect before diving into a new website or any significant online marketing effort. But before I do, my name is Liz Garcia. I'm your happy, insightful, and perceptive host of Athena Arena Radio.com. Welcome to episode 5 of the Athena Arena Podcast, which is the content and digital marketing strategy academy for aspiring 6, 7, and 8-figure, what I call Wonder Woman brands and mastering your inner game. And for all you brilliant men out there, don't be fooled by the whole Wonder Woman thing. This is meant for you too. So let's get to today's topic. The number one thing most business owners miss entirely before diving into developing any content marketing assets. And to put this into further perspective, I'm currently taking a course on how to develop and launch an online course. And I love my teacher, and she's got over a decade of masterful experience, and she's an awesome teacher. Her name is Amy Porterfield, just so you know. She is the founder of the Digital Course Academy. And this course has a super active online Facebook group and community. And my feeling about this number one thing has been validated over and over and again when I listen to Amy's, Q&As. Everyone has the same types of questions, the same issues, the same problems that I have witnessed in my own clients since 2009. And over a decade ago, the tagline that I created then still holds true. And it's essentially this: most people have what I call online overwhelm, meaning you can't keep up and don't know where to begin. And really, not knowing where to begin is the real problem here that leads to frustration, doubt, lack of confidence, and spending a lot of time and money that's completely, seemingly wasted. Nothing is ever wasted because you're learning something, but there's a way to get your business up to a whole other level. So if this sounds familiar to any of you, you're going to want to stay put and listen to this podcast. And another problem is it becomes analysis paralysis, and you just start throwing spaghetti at the walls just to see what sticks. That's a problem. Hello. That's a lot of wasted time and effort. So what if I were to tell you there's an easy way to assess the viability of any marketing content you're creating before spending an inordinate amount of time and effort in creating it? I mean, this is true for any type of product or service development or business development in general, right? You don't want to guess. It'd be nice to have some sound data behind it. So I'm suggesting you could stop floundering, guessing, and wasting valuable time, and create an easy yet powerful, clarity-driven roadmap and structure around an intelligence-based content strategy that gets results. This is my cup of tea, gang. And if you listen to my Clifton Strengths Test thing, strategy is my number one strength. And I tell you, I love it. And it's innate to me, and I love sharing and teaching others how to, put an organized foundation under your business. These are foundational basics to your online and business success. So let's see how intuitive you are. What do you think the number one thing most entrepreneurs miss before diving into online marketing or even developing a business plan. Now, you can just think about that and see if you can come up with it. But before I tell you what it is, let's first define content marketing assets. It may seem obvious, but let's not leave any stone unturned, and let's just discuss some of the major assets that you're going to create when going into putting your business online or creating an entire online business in general. So the first thing is going to be the website, of course. Lead magnets. And if you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's essentially that free offer, free instructional thing, or whatever it is that can get your potential clients started with you, that you're going to give to them in exchange for their email address. Other content marketing assets include the email nurture funnels that you're going to deliver when someone opt-ins for one of your lead magnets. Digital courses, of course. Launching an online business in general. Videos, podcasts, and social media posts. All of these content assets can take a significant amount of time. Trust me, been there, done that since 2009. I know how much time these things can take. And I'd like to take developing a lead magnet as an example of a significant amount of time that needs to be spent in developing one. So, and I've helped people with this. I've done a ton of lead magnet build outs for my own businesses, and I do help others get started with theirs. So what's included in one lead magnet is, first of all, determining what it's going to be, and then determining how you're going to deliver it. What type of content do you want to deliver? Is it going to be like a one-page PDF? Is it going to be a checklist? Is it going to be an ebook? Is it going to be a mini video series or mini podcast series or mini training series? Anything like that. And just so you know, I recently saw some really relevant information from a company that I do work with, and their number one form of content consumption that's a lead magnet is video. Video is their number one type of asset, and then audio would come second, and then any type of readable thing like a PDF or an ebook or something like that would come after that. So just so you know, you're going to want to shore up your lead magnet library with some video and audio content, really because, and I like to encourage my clients to do this, because you're going to get comfortable in front of video for one, and speaking to others in a podcast or audio if you decide to go that route, and really shore up your own confidence and sense of self in regards to what it is that you provide your audience, what type of results. And more importantly, people are going to get to know you, right? They want to get to know and trust you, and you're not going to hide behind an ebook anymore. This is not a judgment. This is something you may be doing. But if you're hiding behind an ebook or some one-page PDF type of thing, you're not really putting yourself out there to attract the business and the clients that you want. So the deliverables, creating that, whether you have to use Canva, you're using slideshows, you're creating video or podcasts, is a significant amount of effort in developing the content for each of those and how you're going to present it and setting up for it. If you're doing videos, you got to do some setup. You got lighting, microphones, stuff like that. And this is not to overwhelm you, but you're just going to take one step at a time. You don't have to do all of these. I don't want you to do all of these. I just want to give you ideas as to where you could begin and what to think about. Like, if you're going to develop a lead magnet, you don't want to miss out on my number one thing that everyone misses out on, which we're going to talk about in a second. So in addition to the actual assets you're going to create that you're going to deliver to somebody through an email nurturing sequence, an automation sequence, ideally, you're going to have to create a pop-up form if it's going to be on your website, right? You have a pop-up form that maybe shows up immediately, like if you go to a retail-oriented website, you immediately get some sort of discount. Or if you go to a service-based website, you're going to get some of their top tips, something like that. So some type of form or landing page that you can send people in to opt in for your offer. And you could drive paid traffic to a landing page that people can opt into, or you can create an image that you're going to share on social media that will drive traffic to a landing page to opt in as well. So additionally, there's going to be some sort of thank you page that will people get redirected to a thank you page after they opt in, where you're going to say, hey, thank you for signing up for my opt-in. Please don't forget to confirm your subscription so that you can actually receive it. And this is an important step because many opt-ins will end up in spam or junk mail or promotional mail that people won't see. So you got to remind them, like, hey, check your email. You're going to get it right now, but make sure you confirm your subscription first. And then you got to create that email nurture sequence. And typically, according to marketing stats, people need 7 points of contact in order to come to know and trust you. So you could have 7 points of contact in an email nurture sequence. I think the recommended minimum is like a four-part journey in an email sequence, or 7-part. I recommend 7 parts, or to some of my clients if we're doing like a top 7 list as an example. My particular major significant lead magnet is called my top 10 online marketing checklist. The question is, what do 6, 7, and 8 figure Wonder Woman brands do for their online success? And then I offer this top 10 online marketing checklist, which is a one-page PDF, but then I follow it up with an email nurture sequence of mini video training on each of the top 10 things. So I go a little bit deeper in each of those. So this is where people really get to know and understand and trust, figure out, do I want to work with her or no? Who knows? And then in addition to all of this, you got to find images that speak your brand voice, images that really speak to you as a brand and speak to your audience as the brand that you intend to be, along with all the copywriting that's involved in that. So this is not to overwhelm. This is to hit home the point that when you develop a lead magnet, you got to invest a lot of time and energy and thought and intentional ways of being, right, into this project. That for me, if I were to do this for you, could take minimum a week, if not 2 weeks, to create this whole thing. And the point being is, if you don't have any data to support what it is you're creating, this could be a huge, expensive time suck and flop, right? What if no one opts in for your lead magnet or mailing list? What do you do then? And I got to tell you, in my Digital Course Academy community, that's a big fear that many people have, and including I have an accountability group I'm part of. No one has any hard data to support the lead magnet they're creating. They have data supported by the business and services that they've done and frequently asked questions, but wouldn't it be nice to make sure there's a significant audience for your lead magnet? Now, you could sit on a lead magnet for months without understanding the lack of performance. Like, why is nobody opting in? What's going on? And there's many things that can contribute to the lack of performance. The main thing being, which I mentioned in my accountability group the other day, is that you're not getting in front of the target audience or ideal clients, right? Especially if you're sharing stuff in your personal social media, as an example, that's not necessarily your ideal clients. So you got to get in front of your ideal client somehow, and that would be a whole other topic. But this is just an example of why something could not be performing. And I mentioned this to one of my accountability people. She had a pretty darn good opt-in rate of about 20%. And I said, and she was ready to trash it. I'm like, do not trash that. That is a very good lead magnet conversion rate for a beginner. Now make sure you're getting in front of the right audience, right? It's really got to be a highly targeted audience. And there's ways to test that in like Google Ads as an example. I'm not recommending that to you as a newbie yet, but it's something that I've tried and it's been successful. So, and there's a whole flurry of other things that could be a problem with your lead magnet. One of them being the design of it. There's a lot of do-it-yourself graphic designers out there which just doesn't have a lot of spit and polish. And then there's also ways that you can split test your lead magnets to see what works. And that's a more advanced topic that we're not going to get into that. So before I tell you this number one thing, I want to tell a true story that really drives home the point. Now, I had a client who is an energy healer, and at the time she was developing alternative remedies, essential oil remedies, so natural essential oil remedies, things like that. And if you know anything about product production and manufacturing, there's a lot that goes into developing a product. In addition to just developing the product itself, there's, labels, packaging, marketing, putting it on your website, all that kind of stuff. And she was developing all these different natural remedies without any market awareness of what she was doing. And I'm like, whoa, woman, hold on, do not start manufacturing anything till I do a little research for you. So we did a little marketing research, and I come to find that what she was intending to do there was no interest in it, and I just gave away what the number one thing is, right? There's no interest in the remedies she was wanting to provide, except for there were some other things she was noodling around. I'm like, this is where you want to go first, and you want to understand that there's a market there. And not only is there a market there, but are people willing to pay for it, right? So she was thankful that I, came to her, a little angel, a marketing angel, came to her just when she needed it to let her know that the direction you're heading right now, even though I would encourage her to create what she wants to create, start with something that has the biggest opportunity, the biggest opening to get people in her door. Not do something that has little to no interest. Start where there's significant interest. And I think there were a couple of things she was creating, something like some type of hand warmer or foot warmer that you could put on before you go skiing. And I don't know which one it was, but one of them had way more search volume than the other. So I told her, you can make both, but you're going to market the one with the highest search volume. It must have been, I don't know if it was the hand warmer or the foot warmer, a natural remedy for keeping your hands warm. And I, as a skier, was like, I totally want that, right? Instead of holding those goofy hot pads, I'd rather just put on some essential oil and call it a day. So anyway, I found other remedies that she was thinking about. I'm like, all right, here's your list of remedies. Maybe there were a dozen of them. And I prioritized them based on search volume, competitiveness in the marketplace, and financial valuability. Like, let's go where the biggest door opening is, get them in your door, and then you can introduce them to the other things that you really love and want to share, right? That's kind of my recommendation, is to find out first what the heck is going on in the market. Do I have a solid plan? Is there anyone going to buy it? Is anyone going to opt in my lead magnet? Hello. This is how you're going to find out. This is where you're going to start in developing a lead magnet. So, what's missing in all the scenarios I described above? It's called keyword marketing research. And guess what? Google has got the lowdown on what everybody is searching for all around the world, and they're willing to share it with us for the most part. It's an incredibly useful for marketing and business development and any type of content marketing strategy. And this is where I start with all of my clients. We do nothing else until I do some research first. It's like, all right, we're not going to build this expensive website or launch this podcast or YouTube channel or create a digital course without some marketing, research behind it. Let's make sure it's supported especially if you're going to market it online. Hello. So if you're unfamiliar with keyword research, there are tools that I use that I'm going to share eventually, that I'm going to share with you shortly. So hold tight on that. But Google, in these keyword marketing tools, tells you so much information. First of all, it tells you what's the monthly search volume for a particular keyword phrase. So if you go to use a tool and you have a keyword phrase you want to look up, you enter it, and then you'll get a report of all the related keywords. And today I did a keyword research on keyword research tools because I was having this conversation. I wanted to share it with it. And there were like 435 results for that particular phrase. I'm like, okay, cool. And then there's a way to go about and analyze, compiling the information, analyzing it a bit, that type of thing. This, the report is also going to tell you the competitiveness of the keyword phrase that you entered. Like, how hard is it going to be for you to land on page 1 of an organic Google search? I mean, there's only 10 slots, and most of the traffic gets in those top 3 slots, and then it starts to diminish greatly. And then when you get to page 2, it falls off the map. Like maybe 5% of people go to page 2, which is good information to know. So there is a workaround, which I'll talk about in another episode. But I want you to become familiar with these tools and this understanding so that you're not wondering and frustrated why nothing's working for you, why you created a website that no one comes to. There's a reason for it. If you write content for a website without this awareness, you're going to have a hard time getting found unless you intuitively wrote stuff that you knew, like how to align with the energies. That's a whole other topic. Okay, something else that this tool is going to tell you is how competitive is it in paid search. And finally, it's going to say, what are businesses, the cost per click? What are businesses and marketers willing to pay for a click on your ad for this particular keyword phrase? This is really important information to look at because it's pointing out the financial viability of what you're doing too. So not only when I do the research do I find the keyword phrases I think the client should focus on and I prioritize them, I also prioritize those phrases that actually have financial viability. And I have a great example of a recent client of mine where her business is helping sexual abuse people that have PTSD and trauma from sexual abuse, as well as sexual assault were the other keyword phrases. And it was so interesting for me to see and to share with her that there was no financial viability for people on the search for help from sexual assault, whereas there is financial viability for people on searching for trauma from sexual abuse or PTSD from childhood abuse or whatever it is. And it was so interesting to ponder, like, why is that? And I was so grateful to know, okay, I know you want to help people with sexual assault, but that's not what they're willing to pay for. You got to find a way in, and sexual abuse, trauma, and PTSD is a huge search volume for all of that stuff. That's her doorway in for the people that she wants to serve. So that's just an example of how important this is in structuring the content of your website as an example. You don't want to waste time guessing, right? You want to know. So how can you easily discover all that you need to know about the keyword phrases you need to be using in all of your content marketing assets, right? How do you do it? Well, first of all, you can hire someone like me that can help you, or a company that provides SEO, that's known as search engine optimization, or SEM, which is search engine marketing services. You'd find companies that do something like that. And my particular service is called the Business Awareness Boost, because I've found that when I provide the research and the results and the consultation and the content strategy outline, it's a huge boost to your business because most people have no awareness. It's a complete up level. It's like a quantum leap from where you are to where you want to be so you can let go of the overwhelm and feel deep-rooted clarity about the strategy now, right? So that's what I serve. And I'm not here to pitch this necessarily, but I also want to provide a lead into getting help for this type of situation. Like, who can you turn to? You can turn to me, or you can turn to others and interview other companies. So I'll share a link to this introductory package that I offer, and some strong and authentic testimonials that can get you off to a great start in deciding whether you want to move forward or not. So this can bring your whole content marketing strategy to another level when you start with this. This is what I call the number one building block to your online marketing success. It's a foundational basic, period. Or you can continue to waste years of your business trying to guess and throw spaghetti at the walls. This doesn't instill confidence and remove frustration, just saying. So, to reiterate, keyword marketing research is my number one go-to step to getting you from online overwhelm to deep-rooted clarity. Now, there are some free ways to get the research information you need to develop your own content marketing strategy, and they're called keyword research tools. I currently use the tool created by Neil Patel, who is a renowned online marketer. His tool is called Uber Suggest, which I will share in a link below in my show notes. And just so you know, I don't get paid to share this tool from Neil. I've also used something called SEMrush and Moz, M-O-Z. I'll share links to those in the notes below as well. But if you just Google top 10 keyword research tools, you'll have plenty of resources to choose from. And I did that today just to see what was out there. Many of them I've never heard of before because I'm so thrilled with my Uber Suggest tool by Neil Patel. There's so much great stuff that keeps coming out on that tool. I just keep adding on. So just so you know, most of these tools offer a free trial period, and don't be overwhelmed by the thought of analysis, keyword research, that type of thing. It's not that complicated. It's kind of simple and obvious just to get you started. If you can't afford to get help to do it, you can start on your own and just kind of feel your way around it. It's not that complicated, especially Neil's tool. That's why I love it. The user interface is pretty simple and straightforward. So that's it. I'm hopping off my high horse about the significance of keyword research using the vast data that's compiled by Google all over the world. Now, next week is a Master Your Inner Game episode that's going to be a continuation of this topic. Now, I know you're wondering, how can that be? What does keyword marketing research have to do with mastering my inner game? Well, you're just going to have to tune in and find out. This topic, mastering your inner game, is my sweet spot, and I'm pretty darn sure there are very few business and marketing teachers that address this significant aspect to your online marketing efforts. What could it be? I don't know. You have to show up and find out. I'll see you then.